So hey, it seems like it's been a while since I made one of these longer stadium building videos. I have been working on quite a few stadiums. I just haven't had the time to actually complete any of them. Like this stadium here probably took me almost 2 weeks to complete. It's just a matter of finding time to finish it and actually finish the video. But this one is finally completed. I have a few others that I'm real close to getting finished, and I think I'm going to have a video probably posting 3 or 4 stadiums all together at once. But anyway, this version is based on the 1923 to, I don't know, 1930 whatever Yankee Stadium before the big additions that they made onto it. But here I'm just trying to get the field dimensions right, which is not very easy with this ballpark because it's got some of the weirdest dimensions and it's pretty big. You got a center field that's like 490 feet, right field 295. You have part of left field that's like 281 or 395, and then even then it goes back to like 400 something, not very far away, but kind of weird dimensions and kind of impossible to make this stadium exactly the way it should be, just because you can't edit the fence in the same way that park is. The game just doesn't let you do it, and the stadium doesn't have much of a doesn't have much foul territory. So, and again, how you can't really edit the foul territory, and this place has like very little foul territory. I mean, as you can see in the photo, the foul line, it's kind of a little bit like Polo Grounds. The way that is, how that doesn't have a lot of foul territory. But so this is probably the first time I decided to go with the old wood bleacher seats for the outfield, just because it's a little bit of a weird outfield in this the original version of Yankee Stadium anyway. Like it's a little bit of an oddball shape for I don't know what you'd want to call it, but nothing like what it's become. And so they didn't really have any sections of seating in the game to make it, appear like that. And of course, me being a fool, I put all these wooden bleacher seats out there, and there's a lot of them. And I mean, at first I was worried, am I not going to have enough data to actually put all these seats out here and everything else I had to do besides adding all these seats. And surprisingly, they didn't really take up much data. But I ended up having to change all of them, and I mean, I must have added at least 100 of them or more. And not to mention, spent at least a couple hours adding these seats and trying to get them just looking correct. And it probably took over a couple day period. Just every chance I found some time to put it together. But then I ended up, like I said, I changed all of them to a different kind of bleacher seat just because I didn't really like. I thought it. I thought like the elevation's a little high with these. At first, I thought they were gonna look okay. Not really a fan of them, but I just thought they looked a little bit too steep, and at least once after I changed them, I thought it looked a little bit more realistic to what it might have looked like, if any of that makes sense. But and I'm totally not a fan of these bleachers or the ones I did use. I think they could do a lot much better job with them. And like I don't get why they only have 3 options for bleacher seats, and you only get one of each, and it seems like they could have different sizes or lengths or something like that, or even have a tool where you can create your own shapes and save them for future use or something like that. And heck, I wish they had the regular seats like those down in the size of those bleachers, just so you could have a little bit more freedom in what you want to create. And even with these, I wish you could just change the size, the length, or whatever you want to. I mean, they let you have a little freedom to where you can actually put the thing in the ground or on top of each other or whatever. You can blend it in, all that other cool stuff. But I don't get why they don't have more options on different ways to do with it. And even so, it'd be nice if you could just tilt the thing. Like if you want the seats to be a little bit steeper, or maybe you just don't want to use as much or something like that, rather than you have to just put the thing into the ground. In which with the ballpark there, you can't really do that unless you're adding seats on. But I'm kind of rambling on about that right now anyway, but and like all these old stadiums, there's not a lot of good photos, especially, I mean, Yankee Stadium, there's a lot of photos of Yankee Stadium over the years to make it pretty easy to recreate, except this early version of Yankee Stadium, there is not a lot of photos. There's some. I mean, there's some good quality photos, kind of like the 2 that I shared. Getty Images only had like 5 photos that actually showed some of the stadium. And, you know, there's a few aerial shots, and I'm sure if I dug a little deeper, I might find some more stuff on, you know, whatever, like a New York library website or something like that. Either a library, New York library website, or something like some historical website, kind of like I did with the Maple Leaf Stadium. I just stumbled upon some Toronto News Archives website. It looked pretty obscure, but it had a lot of photos of that stadium that I could not find on Google or any other search engine, which is pretty annoying that you would think everything that's on Google you could, you know, find a lot of that stuff, but you can't. And just makes these old classic stadiums a little bit a little bit more difficult to recreate, especially if you want to get down to the fine details. And I mean, if you want to just put it together, you could look at one or two photos of some of these old stadiums and have a good reference of what you want it to look like. And I don't know, for me, I just like to get it as close to the real thing as possible. And I know there's a lot of limitations right now, so it's still kind of impossible to have it look exactly like the real thing was, just because of what is not in the game yet. The fact that you can't make your own signs, banners, whatever you want to call them, for the outfield, which was such a big part of these old stadiums, for the outfield wall. Or even like the Yankee Stadium facade. And that's one thing I forgot to... I don't think I put it in the video, but I ended up using the white picket fence, and I ended up using that as the facade hanging down from the roof. I'm not for sure if you can even see it in this video or not. Maybe you can. But originally I was a bit worried that I wouldn't have enough data to put the white facade, or the picket fence. I really didn't think I was just gonna have enough data to put on that picket fence, especially with how many bleacher seats I added in the outfield, and all the concourse as well. And the main reason why I couldn't add so many other little details to the stadium was because of adding that white picket fence. That really took up a lot of data, and I think it went from like I don't know, 60 or 70% up to the high, up to around 90, I believe. I'm not sure. Not sure if I've added the facade at this point or not, but at this point I added all the bleachers. I wasn't really impressed with them at this point, and now I'm just adding all of this concourse concrete just to fill it in. And I mean, I ended up adding the concrete all the way around here behind all these bleachers, just because you can see right through them from when you're batting, so it'd make it look a little silly. Not that this makes it look a heck of a lot better, but at least when I was able to add the other bleachers, I was able to delete a lot of this extra concourse stuff, just because surprisingly the other bleachers, you just can't see through them as easily as these. I think it's just because these things are so steep and have such a grade to them that it's so easy to see right through them. And I think later on with this, these train tracks I'm adding, I moved them up closer to the stadium. There's some aerial shots where it looks like the tracks are right on the other side of that center field wall. And there's even a shot with I want to say Babe Ruth is practicing or something, and you can see, it almost looks like you can see the train over that center field wall. It's a pretty cool shot, and it's got to be from 1925 or something. I forget if this stadium opened in 1923, or they started building it in 1923. I'm not sure, but just because I'm just talking off the top of my head because I haven't really looked to the exact when it opened versus when they started building it. But this part here was fun, adding or changing all these bleachers over to the other bleachers. I'm not totally fond of the look of these other ones. Like, yeah, they have that green bench, which is a little bit more realistic to what they should look like. But I really hate the brown part of the aisleway. I mean, I do like that they have an aisleway. I just don't like that it's that bright brown color. It just kind of sticks out when they should probably be like metal or aluminum or whatever like that. And I don't know why they wouldn't have these ones and ones that are aluminum, like something from your conventional high school baseball stadium or little league baseball field, whatever. So I don't know why they don't have them in this game. They have, upteen different styles of the kind of seats you see behind home plate, but for these bleachers, it's like they have next to nothing. So not only did I have to change all these over, that in and of itself seemed like it took a couple hours, and then I had to move all of them to line them up correctly, which took another couple hours to do. Like, I hope somebody appreciates the amount of time I put into this stadium. I so wish I could have done more, but adding the picket fence to make up the facade along the roof just took up too much data and really didn't allow me to do much other stuff to this stadium. And this part here was like, it gave me a lot of problems when I had the other bleachers and when I put those in, just because you can see it has like an edge to it there. I just couldn't get it looking the way I wanted to. I still like how this stadium ended up turning out. I'm going to try to make some additions to it. I might delete the picket fence / facade part. It would free up a lot of data so I can maybe do a little bit more stuff with the stadium. It would at least allow me to add the rest of the seats down the third baseline to the outfield and kind of give it that Yankee Stadium look that it had from the 1930s to I think into the 60s or 70s. Yeah, I think into the 60s anyway, before it got its modern update. I think in the 70s when the Yankees played in Shea Stadium. But anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. I plan on releasing a few more stadiums here shortly, so you can. Anyway, you can download this one and have some fun with it. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.